praises to the Most High Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, the honest to the elders and apostles of GMS who rule well, and the elders of Israel who rule well. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Um, I wanted to get into this from yesterday, but I'm doing the lesson today. Lord willing, is edifying, and yeah, I was with one of the brothers, right, and yeah, basically he showed me a video by somebody in the truth, quote unquote, right? And I'm not trying to get into all of that. And he was basically preaching for strife. Here it is. You got all this stuff going on. Brothers got different things going on in their life. Certain brothers are having money issues. Certain brothers are having problems with their women. So certain brothers are having problems with their kids. Certain brothers are having problems with Esau. Certain brothers are having problems with illnesses or injuries. Certain brothers are having problems with all of them. You know, and and here it is, you're causing a issue to the brother. You know, that's why it says sometimes it's better to separate, right, rather than be unevenly yoked with somebody. Because if somebody's in the truth and they don't understand that, another brother in the truth is already going through enough stuff, you don't need to heap, you don't need to heap issues onto the brother. You don't need to heap problems and tribulations onto that brother. Right? This is Romans 5 and 4. I'm going to start at 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have patience with other one through our Lord, Yahawashi HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into his grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of other one. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations. So when you're going through stuff, right? Paul gloried in tribulation. Now, obviously we're in the flesh, so if Esau sends me a court summons, I have to go through something like that, I'm not necessarily gonna be happy, but I'm gonna glory the Lord, and hopefully the Lord can take that out of me, you know. Yeah, I know brothers, certain brothers say, "Oh, well, while I'm going through stuff, I'm happy because I know the Lord is dealing with me." You might be going through stuff because you're wicked, man. We glory in the Lord that we can seem upright in His eyes, and He'll take it from us. Because even when Job was going through that stuff, he weren't happy about that. You know, when it talks about glorying in tribulation, it means glorifying the Lord, because no one's gonna be going through stuff and gonna be like, "Yes, I'm going through stuff." Yahawashi was going through stuff. He prayed to the Father to take it from him. He wasn't glorying in his tribulation, but he was glorying the Father in his tribulation. That's why it says, "But we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope." Right? So that's one of the main things. When you go through this stuff, you gain experience of going through stuff, and then you get hardened, and then now you know how to deal with stuff. There's a lot of brothers, right, who in the world you ain't really been through nothing, man. Certain brothers been to jail for things that they shouldn't be in jail for. Certain brothers been to jail for stuff that you know that they didn't do. Some brothers been in jail for things that they did do. All of that builds patience. Some brothers deal with women. Some brothers had issues with their kids. Some brothers ain't had issues with their kids. But all of that builds patience and experience, and allows you to then be able to speak to a next brother. But you have pups, right? You have pups in the world, as far as experience is concerned, who are given this truth, and it's pretty much giving a baby a shotgun, or giving a baby, a chicken leg with a bone in it. They don't really know how to eat it, man. Brothers want to jump from milk straight to meat, and they don't necessarily know how to break certain things down, because you haven't been through that experience. You haven't been through that tribulation. You haven't been hardened by the world. So when you're having an issue with a brother, you think it's a big thing. These times it's not even a big thing. You're going through minor situation, but because you never really been through none, you blow it up and make it seem as if it's the end of the world. Certain brothers need to man up, man. You need to reach down there. You need to grab your balls, and you need to be a man. The scriptures say, "Gird up your loins like a man." You know, Salaki for my language, but certain brothers act like bitches out here, man. You need to fix up, bro. Romans 5 and 5, and hope maketh not ashamed, right? Because the love of other one is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us. For when we were yet without strength, in due time Hamashiach died for the ungodly. So we're supposed to be strengthened by that. We're not supposed to be going through stuff and crumbling and crying because A brother, a brother didn't call you back in time, or you called a brother and he didn't pick up the phone. You don't know what the brother's doing. It could be with his woman, it could be with his family, it could be at the plantation. You don't know what the brother's doing. Brother might not even want to talk to you. How about that? And that's his prerogative. If you don't want to talk to you, you don't get offended by it. If the brother don't want to talk to you and he wants to separate you from himself, hey, let the brother go, man. Because this is an individual walk, right? We save ourselves. Another brother, me being friends with Elder Apostle Tahar is not gonna save me. You know what I mean? I can be wicked as hell. You think you being friends with a brother's gonna save you? No. We deal with we seek our own salvation through fear and trembling. It's got your walk is your work, your walk. You know what I mean? 7, for scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man, some would even. Let me get that in the NLT, man. Further, I'm gonna leave that. Brothers can break that down for themselves if they really want to. I really just want to shoot this point and get it out of the way. This is Isaiah 54:5. For thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the power of the whole earth shall he be called. So we're likened unto women, in the truth. We are the Lord's woman, and the Lord is our husband. And what does it say of women in the walk? Right? Let me get that. It says of women, Titus 2:5, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of other one be not blasphemed. Brothers that read that scripture and be like, hey, that's for the women. That's for you too. The Lord sees you as a woman. You're supposed to be discreet. You're supposed to be chaste. Which means that you're not a whore basically. You're not going into other religions and doctrines, philosophies, wines. You're going into the philosophy of this world, where a brother's supposed to be your goddamn, your little butt buddy. You know what I mean? You want the brother to walk everywhere that you go and hold your hand. You gotta stand by yourself, man. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be chaste. Keep to yourself. You're supposed to be holy and separate. Certain brothers are extroverts, some brothers are introvert. When you're an introvert, you basically sustain yourself of your own energy. You need to be by yourself to recharge. When you're extrovert, you need to feed off the energy of other people. This truth is if you're an extrovert, this truth is meant to turn you into an introvert. If you're an introvert, this truth kind of evens you out and balances you out, because you have to go out there, you have to interact with people, you have to be outgoing in a sense where you need to do the work, so it balances you out. So you have to be able to be by yourself, and you have to be able to speak to people and deal with them accordingly. That's the balance of the Lord. To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands. And who is our husband? The Lord. Bahasham, Yahawashi, that the word of other one be not blasphemed. So when you're dealing with a matter and you're not being discreet about it, you're really blaspheming the Lord. You're dealing with brothers and you're talking about brothers. You're getting on the video. You shouting out brothers' names. These times people watching the video don't even know the brother you're talking about. You're like, yeah, you're like this brother, that brother, this brother did this brother did that. And I've seen that. I even recently had a situation with a brother. He came, we spoke, and that was the end of it. I might have made a lesson about it, but I didn't bring the brother up. He might have made a lesson about it, but he didn't bring my name up. This was an issue between me and him. If you have a problem with your wife, you don't go out of your household and start telling everybody what problem with your wife has. And then now somebody got an issue with your wife, and now you make up with your wife, and now this person your enemy because you've been talking rubbish about your wife. Not to say the brothers, are wise out here, but I'm saying that same level of discretion that you use when you're dealing with people close to you, you're supposed to use that same level of discretion. You talk about women being discreet. You want a woman to be humble, but you don't want to be humble. You as a man, you have a right to run off your mouth and say whatever you want to say and not be held accountable. That's the spirit of a woman, man. You're not supposed to be in that spirit. Even women are not supposed to be in that spirit. How much more you? So this is why again I say brothers acting like bitches, man. There's women who have more balls than certain brothers in the truth, and that's a goddamn shame, man. So lucky for my language. Um, this is First Timothy 5. Let's see where I start. I'm gonna start at 5. 5:5. Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in other one. And we pretty much are as widows, right? We're mourning, because we're dead to the world, man. Because our husband is dead to the world. The Lord, the laws of the Lord are dead to the world, right? So we're mourning for the things that we're going through, man. We're watching our children be destroyed in this place. Whoever's not mourning, living in this place, there's something wrong with you, man. It talks about what does it say? The righteous mourn when the wicked rule. So we are in a mindset of a widow, a desolate trusteth in other one, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she live. You're talking about the pleasure of the world. You want to deal with brothers, as if it's some frigging game, like it's a Boy Scouts club or something like that. Like brothers always supposed to be there to hold your hand. Sometimes, bro, you might not talk to a brother for a week. There's certain people I ain't spoken to for years, and I call them up, and then we pick up right where we left off, man. They got their own life, so have I. Brothers need to have their own life, and this is built through experience. And you going out there and you being a man and dealing with your situation, man. It's not up to a brother to hold your hand, man. Brothers got to man up. You got certain brothers in the truth who never been through nothing. You come in the truth, and what does it say? Wisdom and knowledge puffeth up, right? And these things give in charge that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. So you're supposed to provide for your house, the brothers that are with you, your own household, especially as a man. If you have a woman and children, you're supposed to provide for your own household, and those of your own household include brothers as well, because brothers is in the fight with you. So you're supposed to deal with them accordingly, and provide doesn't mean that you buy, you cook for a brother, or you give a brother money, or you wash a brother's foot with your head. It means that you provide counsel. Sometimes you provide discretion. When a brother comes to you and says something, you don't go around like a little talebearer with your little skirt between your legs, talking to this brother and that brother about things that are between you and him that you're supposed to be discreet about. Again, brothers out here acting like, and when I say brothers, I mean quote unquote, because that's not really brotherly, is it? It's not brotherly to act like a damn woman. Even there's women who are more chaste and discreet than some of you so-called brothers out there, man. You're in a real bitch spirit. When all these missiles and all these issues start flying, what you gonna do, man? You're gonna scream like a lady, man. And that's a horrible spirit to be in. This is Philippians 1 and 5. Some indeed preach Hamashiach, even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. The one preach Hamashiach of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. So that's affliction to a brother. Because these brothers are supposed to, the lessons that we do are supposed to edify brothers, man. But you talking about brother situations, exposing brothers, you're adding to his affliction. So now everybody's looking at the brother sideways. You might be doing certain things where you calling up a brother, another brother's on the line, he's listening, and you trying to set brothers up and doing fruity stuff like that. Man, you add an affliction to that brother. That brother's already going through stuff by already being in his truth. You don't need to add more. If you see a man struggling to lift a sack of rice, you don't put another sack on his back. You help him lift it, man. The brothers is adding affliction onto tribulations that brothers already have. But the other of love, knowing that I'm set for the defense of the gospel. When you're a soldier, you have to fight, you have to defend. How can you fight and defend when your brother right next to you, your the soldier next to you, is trying to stab you in the back? You causing problems in the camp now. No one trusts each other. You're supposed to be in formation, but you the weak link. Now people can just shoot an arrow into your little squadron, kind of like that 300 movie, right? Where that little dwarf, funny looking mofo, he couldn't even lift the shield up above his head, and he was like, "You're gonna be weak in a flank because through you he can break it down." Now through you're inviting demons into the camp, into the brotherhood, because you're not strong enough to deal with your own stuff. Why the hell would brothers want to be around that? It's good that brothers separate themselves if they want to separate themselves in that instance, if that's how you want to act, because you are the weak link. Sometimes brothers say, if everybody thinks there's a problem with you, sometimes maybe you're the problem. We look at it like, oh well, we're in the truth, so the people of the world are the problem. Okay, cool. Well, now you're in the brotherhood. The brothers think you're the problem. What's up now then? What then, notwithstanding every way, whether in patience or in truth, Hamashiach is preached, and I therefore do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice. So we're supposed to rejoice in this. We're supposed to be able to trust the people around us. We're not supposed to be around brothers and and you feel drained from being around brothers. This is how I feel when I'm with brothers in the world. I come around brothers who're supposed to be in a quote unquote truth, and now I feel drained, like I'm dealing with somebody of the world, right? Because I don't know your intentions, because your intentions aren't based on the scriptures. Your intentions is based on your own ideologies. Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. So when you make a lesson, it's not supposed to be about some bull crap. You know, here it is. Uh, I might have had a I might have had the nicest milkshake in the world, and I'm out here, doing a video talking about, this milkshake was the best milkshake I ever had. Lord willing, it was edifying to the brothers. The brothers don't care about my damn milkshake. That milkshake was for you. You don't have to speak every matter. And I've seen elders in Israel do this. And one of the big bros said to me the other day. He said, when the head is sick, the whole body is sick. So when you see certain behaviors from elders, you start beginning to think, that's okay. You're not really looking at the situation, as a man, and taking accountability and using your logic, and taking your little girly feelings out of it, to think whether or not what you're doing is right or whether or not it's wrong. Proverbs 16:28, a froward man saw a strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. And I've heard stories like this all, I've seen it, I've heard it, you know, where a man come into the camp, and then now you're causing situations between brothers, and certain brothers now have to call up other brothers to settle beefs. These times there was no issue before you come in. I'm not even invited in the camp. I go around brothers. If there's a situation between a brother and a brother, I might get advice. But I am not trying, whatever issue I have with a brother, I have to be very, very careful with the words that I use, right? Because you may not agree with everything sometimes. You may not agree with everything that your parents do. You know, I'm like, speaking as a man, the things that the Lord has put me through, I wish I never went through that stuff. But it's not really up to me to say whether or not I go through this stuff or not. Sometimes you just have to eat it. Sometimes the Lord gives you a shit sandwich, and you have to eat your shit sandwich. And I know brothers wish, you come into the truth and everything's all hunky and dory. But nah, that's more than likely, that's not always the case. You get given your trial. Sometimes you have a long stretch of doing good, then you might have a little couple bumps in the road. Ultimately the Lord is not going to do certain things to you, because you're going to not involve yourself around other things, but you're constantly having to battle demons, man. When you fight one demon, it's like a game. You upgrade. Now you have to fight a harder demon. This is the nature of the battle. Certain brothers aren't going through other things that other brothers aren't going through. Doesn't mean that they're not in the faith. They may be more wise than you. It may be their lot not to go through that. Look at what Yahawashi went through. Look at what Lot went through. Not everyone went through that. Noah didn't go through that. Solomon didn't go through that. David didn't go through that. They didn't go through the stuff that Solomon and David went through. You know, we all have our individual issues that we go through, and sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. It don't mean that when you go through it that you're a special little snowflake, and then you have to start bugging out over the stuff that you're going through. Sometimes you got to man up. Yeah, I know. Your woman stabbed you in the back. We don't want to hear it no more. Certain brothers ain't trying to hear your issue. They got their own issues, man. Brothers got their own problems. Sometimes you have to be discreet with your own issues, as well as other brothers' issues. Proverbs 20:19. I'll probably either end of this or a couple more scriptures. He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets, therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. You come around, you saying what's up to brothers, a brother tell you something discreet, you going around, and a brother told me that this happened to him where he's told a brother something, and the brother's making a video, and he's bringing up the thing that he told a brother about indiscretion. This is some salakia again for my language. This is some bitch made stuff, man. But we're supposed to be better than that, because this is a behavior of the world, man. James 1:2, 6. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue. And what's bridleth mean? When you got a horse, you bridle is you put that little mask on them. Sometimes you just gotta shut your mouth, man. And bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart. This man's religion is vain. So you going around talking about brothers' issues, you're being vain, man. You know, you're supposed to keep that discreet. You're supposed to shut your mouth for certain things. Sometimes a brother offends you. Sometimes you just gotta shut your mouth about it. You know, the Lord don't care about your little wincy incy bincy problems. It's not even a problem. You know, Lord willing, all the brothers make it in the kingdom. You know, and they're on that chariot. You think you're gonna be complaining about the time that you gave the brother £5, he's supposed to give it back to you and he forgot, or whatever bull crap that you went through, brothers, or the time you called him and he didn't pick up because he was at the job site or he was with his woman or whatever. You ain't gonna be thinking about that, man. Brothers be blowing up certain things that don't even need to be blown up, man. Psalms 105 and 101 and 5, Salakia. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that have a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. So you talking bad about a brothers, the Lord will cut you off for that stuff, man. You know, a brother says, yeah, don't offend his little ones. So when you do certain things, right, you offend brothers, sometimes the Lord will cut you off for that because now you're being wicked. You're bringing wickedness into the camp. You're bringing demons into the camp through your wickedness, man. You know, if you have a woman, right, or you have a bunch of wives, and you have one wife who's constantly causing problems. You know, oh well, I'm gonna take husband tonight with the mandrakes. You know, and then you steal the mandrakes from one of his wives. You give it to the husband. Now you spend the night with him. These times she wanted to spend the night with him. You do that with somebody else. You go to the husband. Oh well, Mary said this. Mary said, now everybody got an issue. The husband gonna look at you and say, you know what, yeah, you're causing me hella problems because before you got here, everything was sweet. You know, you're the last one in, causing problems. You're gonna be the first one out. Certain times you might be the first wife and you can't stand it. The other wives are getting some kind of treatment because you used to get that treatment. He's not spending as much time with you as you used to, so now you start getting jealous and you start slandering. He might leave your ass. You know, brothers need to understand, man. You have to act accordingly, man. This is Titus 3:2. To speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. So here it is when Esau has a problem with you. You deal with him according to wisdom in the scriptures because you don't want to get your head bust, you don't want to get arrested, you don't want to go jail. But you dealing with brothers in the truth, you dealing with so-called Jake, and you wicked as hell. You know, that's a real pussyfied spirit. Again, sound like it for my language. This stuff just really pisses me off, man. You don't have the same energy for Esau as you do your own bros, as your own people. You know, when Esau barges you, you say, "Oh, sorry, sir." But when Jake barges you, you want to fight Jake. You know, Jake hate himself, man. This is one of them symptoms of hating yourself, man. This is the last scripture. I'm gonna end off on this. This is Proverbs 11:13. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. So you going through a situation with a brother, you know, if the brother ain't had sex with your wife, if he ain't done something so wicked and evil that the other brothers need to know about, is a situation between you and him. He's supposed to turn up at 11 o'clock. He come at 11:30. You had an appointment at 11:45. Now you was late to your appointment and you're going around talking about how the brother doesn't respect your time. These times that the brother was late, he had a situation going on, he's explained it to you, but you just can't get over it because you're in your feelings. Bro, just keep the matter between you and him, man. You don't need to talk to every brother about every issue that you go with a brother, man. You done something nice for the brother, you might help the brother here and there. You don't go around and say, well, there was one time where he needed £5 to get the train and I gave him money for the train. Bro, be discreet, man. Don't like your one thing. The point about the truth is for you to think or to know you're part of the elect. This is why the Lord ain't told brothers that they're part of the elect. Because if you knew you was part of the elect and anything you did, the Lord's gonna forgive you for. Jacob act like an asshole, man. Jacob going around doing all kind of wickedness. Well, it don't matter because I'm part of the elect. This is why the Lord ain't told you, man. So now you got to fight for your crown. You know, brothers, you have to act like you got some skin in the game, man. Because all of this stuff is gonna have you out of here. You know, that them demons are gonna come back, find it that you've cleaned the house. They're gonna start shitting in the corner and start doing whatever they want to do in your house, man. They're gonna drive you nuts and up the wall. Now you saying the most bugged out stuff. Now you making lessons about your milkshake and your hamburger that tasted really, really good. And then talking about, oh, it was edifying. You know, not edifying for the brotherhood, bro. It's not edifying for the brothers. It's not edifying for yourself, because you're supposed to fight for your crown. It's really not edifying for yourself. If you want to be selfish like that, you need to think about how it looks on you when you're doing that stuff, how the Lord is viewing you, and you need to take counsel when brothers are saying what you're doing is wrong. Sometimes you may be wrong. Sometimes you may be right. Sometimes the brothers don't have all the issues at hand and they say, right, you know what, you're wrong, even when you feel like you're right. And you have to be humble and say, okay, well, you know what, I'm not even going to get too upset about it, because at the end of the day, it's a trivial thing. Again, when you've actually been through stuff in life, a lot of the stuff that you're going through, even with brothers, is not a big deal, man. You got brothers that's been to jail. You've had brothers who've lost loved ones and stuff like that. You think I'm about to have an issue with you? I'm not saying that I've been through that. I'm not saying I've not been through that. But I'm saying, right, you actually go through something, and now a brother steps on your foot. You're about to have a breakdown because a brother stepped on your foot accidentally, or a brother forgot to bring you something. And that, again, I'm speaking to myself, because I've done certain things where a brother might have done something and he didn't necessarily mean it evilly, or way evil. And I'm like, yo, what's up? And now an issue's been caused because I've not addressed it properly. And that's another thing. When you have an issue with somebody, you have to address it properly. You have to be a man about it. You have to be calm and logical. You can't just fly off the handle and start getting in your feelings and doing certain things and making lessons. I lent the brother £5. You going online, you making a lesson about how you lent a brother £5, he didn't pay you back. Come on, man. Drake, you gotta do better, man. We always calling out the heathens and the wicked of our nation for going off, and then we turn around and act the same way. We need to examine ourselves daily that we be in the faith. This lesson is a bit long-winded, Salakia. But yeah, Lord willing, it was edifying. All praises to the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, double honors to the elders and apostles of Jeremiah, who were well, Shalom to the hopeful elect. Salakia, Shalom to all the elders of Israel who were well. Shalom.